What's up, boys? How are we today?
Doing great.
Opening day, man.
Heck yeah, it's opening day. So, yeah, I love this pitching staff. I think it's great. You know, I think our rotation plus bullpen, I mean, they got the ability to be like top 5 in all of baseball. The pitching staff as a whole, I think it's that good. However, I can already tell that this offense is going to drive me up an effing wall this year. I mean, come on, man. Like, you know, it was great, you know, up 1-0, but, you know, I'm going to say the offense cost us that second game yesterday. And how often are we going to have to see that this year? You know.
So, you know what? First of all, you're right. If we're allowed to get excited about the things that are going wrong, we should get worried about the things that aren't. Did you happen to hear AJ this morning talk about AJ Hinch, Tiger manager, talk about it?
I didn't. What did he actually have to say about that?
Okay, so there's a couple things. First of all, you will, if you're still with us in the noon hour, we're going to replay some of the highlights of what he had to say. And one of them is he mentioned, John asked him a question. I know that everybody says when the weather heats up, the bats heat up. And AJ kind of snickered and he said, yeah, we actually do believe that. And Costa asked a follow-up and said, but even last year when the bats, quote, heated up, you were still one of the worst offensive teams in baseball. How do you know you're going to be better? And he said, oh, don't get me wrong. We've got work to do. And they're aware of it. He's not that's a concern that your concerns are being matched by those that run the team. Like they're aware this team has to be better offensively if they're going to be a legitimate contender. And they're going to give people time to sort it out. But when I heard that, and if we are a legitimate contender, and we'll be willing to go outside the organization and address it, because you know you can only be so patient, but you must be patient.
Yeah, and there were the one run they scored in the second game was actually Javi Baez drove in the run by going opposite field, and it was a nice piece of hitting by Javi because it was one of those sweeper slider pitches that he just kind of went with and flicked it out to right field and scores the run. They did have a couple of other hard hit balls with guys on base, but they were, you know, they had the Torkelson hit that was right down the line that the third baseman made the play on. There was another line drive to a left fielder that caught it, but it's not enough. You know, you need more of that. But hopefully that's a sign of better things to come, that they're starting to sting the ball a little bit more. I'd like to see them walk more and get on base more so we can see that you take advantage of that and the rules that is advantageous to the base runner so they can steal bases and get in the scoring position and stop having to just manufacture these runs.
But there's a couple things about this. One is, keep in mind, it's cold for the other team's hitters too. Yeah. So all these pitching stats, I do believe that it is, I mean, it clearly is harder to hit in this weather, but that means the other team's hitters have been dealing with that disadvantage while the Tigers pitching staff looks great. But it also might explain Joey Cora waving everybody around third is, okay, I'm not sure we can continue to string hits together. Let's take a few chances here in the early going. Maybe that's part of it, maybe not, but you might see them do a little bit more manufacturing and taking some chances to try and kickstart the offense. But, you know, it's the 5-1 and the pitching, starting pitching and the bullpen, and quite frankly, the defense. If all that is stuff to get fired up about, then yeah, the bats are something to be worried about. Now, yesterday, Cole Keith went 3 for 8 in the 2 games, huge extra base hit in extra innings. Riley Green hit a home run. I mean, there's starting to be some signs of some percolation. Is there some percolation?
There's some percolation. I think Green had another one that was actually fielded, but it was like 104.7 miles per hour, something like that.
Yeah.
So those are good signs, and you need the bigger guys in the lineup. Green, Torkelson, Keith, Canha. These are guys you're kind of counting on to provide some power numbers. To do something with Canha, it's more about getting on base. You want to see that, and Canha, to an extent, has done that through the first 6.